Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday the 25th of March 2022. In today's Mill news, even though we're in the international break, the South London Preston News then are still pumping out the stories. We got a couple from them today for you. We start off with this from londonnewsonline.co.uk, South London Press. Mill boss gives detailed reason why he isn't feeling down after championship unbeaten run was ended. Mill manager Gary Rowett is far from despondent after their 8-game unbeaten run was ended at Stoke City. The Lions head into the international break in 10th place in the championship, ahead of what looks to be a pivotal fixture at Luton next weekend. Only the Hatters and Nottingham Forest have taken more points, 21, than Millwall, 20, over the last 10 fixtures. And Rowett knew the Lions' mammoth effort, when combined with a significant injury list, would eventually take its toll. Mills were superb in emphatically halting Huddersfield's 17-game unbeaten run last week. I had to go again at the Bet365 Stadium less than 72 hours later. We track our physical performance over the season, so I know exactly what is a big effort and what is not a big effort, said Lions boss Rowett. I know people can also see it by eye. You could clearly see that Wednesday night against Huddersfield was a massive effort. Let's take Scotty Malone and Jed Wallace, because they are probably two of the players who run with the most intensity, sprint the most distances and quickest over a longer period. They are more explosive athletes than, say, centre-halves, and what they have to do in the game. Wednesday was a huge game. Probably one of our biggest of the season, and on the back of having to play 4 or 5 games on the spin with no player to take their place or come and help them for the last 20-30 minutes, as a manager, it's going to be very difficult to do that again when it is really explosive top end of the pitch. I could see 10-15 minutes in that Scotty looked absolutely gassed. He had gone again from running himself into the ground all evening in an incredible atmosphere and in front of the cameras. When the whole team looks like that, it's not an individual thing. I thought they'd do that 3 or 4 games ago. They kept going until that last one, which they deserve a lot of credit for. It's after the Lord Mayor's show, isn't it? You see it with top teams. They have an incredible win in the Champions League on a Wednesday night, and they'll have a bit of a come down with an average performance against the mid-table team on the Saturday. It's very difficult to mitigate. The only way you really can is to bring 3 or 4 players in of a similar athletic quality and let them go in the next game. We haven't been able to do that. Millwall's selection options have been disrupted for months. They will welcome back Afobe, eligible to face his parent club last weekend, but Mason Bennett is set to be missing for up to 6 weeks with a calf injury that forced him off at Stoke. Rowett knows the key is how the Lions respond to their reverse in the Potteries. The sad irony of football is you do so well to get where you are by not losing in 8 games and winning 6 of them, and then you lose the next one and people look and think, they've thrown it away. It doesn't work like that. You look at every single team in the division, they all have had a good run, and that good run always comes to an end. Look at Huddersfield, their run came to an end against us and they lost the next game as well. Players are human. You just can't keep winning. You're going to have one result that drops you back down. The challenge then is to go again, go on another run and be competitive again. I knew by losing that game that perhaps people would see it as an opportunity missed, but you don't get to that point and just keep winning because other teams go on runs. Other teams can desperately need points. Other teams can run more than you on the day and play with more energy and quality. After any defeat, you have to bounce back and show again what you've been about so far. Millwall have finished 8th twice since returning to the Championship in 2017. Their lowest finish since then was 21st in the 2018-19 season when they reached the FA Cup 6th round. The Lions were 11th in the last campaign, which was played entirely behind closed doors. Rowett is keen for Mills to enjoy their final 8 matches. The last time they reached the playoffs at this level was under Mark McGee in 2001-2, losing in the semi-finals to Birmingham City in the old Division 1. Wherever you are in the league, you have to embrace it as a challenge, said Rowett, who reached the playoffs as a Derby boss in 2018. That is what teams like ours revel in. When we don't revel in, is that we have to go up. If you're Bournemouth or someone like that, there is a pressure now. The expectation is that you have to finish in the top 2, like a Fulham. Our expectation isn't that, but we expect to win games out in this last day. It's just how many can we? Well, we'll soon find out. And yeah, there you go. We will soon find out. One thing as well that you need to mention in these this unbeaten run, these 6 wins in a row what we had, 4 of them I believe were home games, because we had a couple of postponed games in there. It was a bit weird that we would have so many home games in a row, but that kind of tipped the scales, because we are very good at home and we're not very good away, and a lot of teams are like that. You can't, only the best teams constantly win away from home. I think in the last, what was it, in the Premier League, was it Arsenal went unbeaten one season by not losing any games, even away. But they didn't win every away game, but they just didn't lose. So that's only happened once. You can't, with all the travelling and stuff, you can't go away to these other teams, these pitches that you don't really play on, the hostile away crowds, and it's hard for you to get a result. So our unbeaten run was skewed because we had extra home games, and when we did have a tough away game, like we went to Reading and beat them, but we went to Blackburn, we didn't have a shot on target, but we managed to get out of there with a 0-0 draw. We didn't even have a shot, I don't think. So, and we managed to get out of there with a 0-0 draw. So alarm bells were ringing then, and then we did all right against Middlesbrough, and we did excellently against Huddersfield, and then we go away to Stoke, and yeah, like we have a bad record away at Stoke, and it's an away game anyway. You're not going to be winning that. Now we've got an away game coming up now. Well, and not now, but next week against Luton. A bit of historical connotations to it. The 1985 Cup game that went a bit crazy. But and you can see in this story, if we go back up now, it was said in this story at the top. Where is it? So Luton have taken more points than Millwall, 1 more point over the last 10 fixtures. So they're in a run of form themselves. So 2 teams that are in a very good run at the moment are going to be playing at Kenilworth Road next season, next week, for basically a battle for a place in the end of season tournament. So there you go. Let's move on now to this from news@den.co.uk. I think this is kind of similar to the one we've just read, actually. Yeah, so yeah, it's basically the same. I think it's taken from this same interview. It says Rowett picked out Scott Malone, Jed Wallace, and George Saville. So they mentioned George Saville here as players who had posted big running numbers in a 2-0 win over Huddersfield Town. Ironically, or perhaps because of fatigue, Wallace missed a penalty and Saville scored an own goal in a 2-0 defeat to Stoke last weekend. Some Millwall players were given until Thursday this week off, with others reporting to Calmont Road depending on their level of involvement recently and as they work on their fitness after returns from injury. Rowett took a rare chance to head back to his home in Derbyshire for a short break. Millwall go into the last 8 games just 4 points off 6. Rowett revealed he had a points target in mind to reach before the last international break of the season. The Lions were 11 points off the playoff places after 3 consecutive league defeats in January. Rowett welcomed the chance for a breather before the final push, hopefully for the top 6. Everyone has needed it. We all knew it was coming and everyone was working hard towards it. It's quite nice to have the break, Rowett said. We'll still be working. The staff will go to games at the weekend and we'll be in touch for a couple of days training, Thursday and Friday. Some of the lads who haven't done as much will have a little bit of remote work to do. I set myself I didn't say it to the players or the staff, but I set myself a points tally when it was about 6 games to go before the international break. It looked at that point as though it was going to be a really desperate attempt just to get some results. And we just needed to pick up some points, and if I'm being honest, the players have certainly exceeded what I thought we were getting at time. And that's why after Stoke it would have been easy for me to come in and say that we've performed poorly but we've not played well, but there were so many reasons why. It was the end of a run of games. It was probably almost after our most energetic performance of the season. If you had seen some of the numbers after Wednesday, Scott Malone, Jed, Sav, people like that, they were the ones really well, most of the players, but there were 4 or 5 who just couldn't physically go again. And I had to accept that. I don't like to accept that, but I had to accept that. I think the players have certainly earned the break after one game when they couldn't quite do it. Millwall have something of a reset ahead of their next match at Luton Town on April the 2nd. Over their last 9 games, as well as going unbeaten in 8, they won 5 in a row and kept 5 consecutive clean sheets. Rad, most of what you guys have to ask, we're always going to be asked regardless of what happens. So if we're on an unbeaten run, it's how long can that unbeaten run go? If we're on a losing run, it's how do we stop the losing run? If it's a winning run, it's how do we maintain it? I don't get too bogged down by what the run of games is. Literally, you just take each game as it comes. We can beat the likes of Huddersfield, but then we lose to Stoke. It doesn't matter where you play or what run you're on. What matters is trying to do everything you can in that one game to win it and then moving on very quickly to the next game. That's exactly how we work. So yeah, more stuff there from Gary Rowett, but one note that I wanted to pick out from that, where are we going? We're going here. This one here will still be working. The staff will go to games at the weekend, and we'll be in for a couple of days training Thursday, Friday. So the staff will go to games at the weekend. What for? What? For what? For where? What games? They're looking at players to sign. So League 1 teams are playing, League 2 teams are playing. Will they be going to League 1 games and looking at players to sign from them? Will they be going to international games? Are there any in the UK? I don't know. Yeah, where are they going? Are they going to Ukraine to sign a Ukrainian player? I imagine there's a lot of opportunities for Ukrainian players to leave the country. And even though there is a points system in place and work permits and all that, if you can play on the sympathy angle and the refugee status, although do we want to sign any Ukrainians after the Russians we signed? That didn't work out well for us, did it? Sergei Uran, that wasn't good. There you go. So they're going to games. The staff will go to games. Interesting. Yes, interesting. But they'll be going to lower league games. Are there any good players in League 1 that we could be signing? I don't know. So moving on now to this from news@end.co.uk. Millwall assistant boss reminded Lions they needed to up their game on crucial source of goals. Afobe admitted a blast from Millwall assistant manager Adam Barretts reminded the Lions they needed to improve their set piece record. Millwall didn't score their first goal from a set play in the league until their 5th game of the season, the 2-1 win against Blackpool at the Den when Jed Wallace fired home a direct free kick. The Lions' first goal from a dead ball delivery and a first contact finish was in their 11th game when Murray Wallace headed home Wallace's corner for the winner in the 89th minute of the 1-0 victory at Barnsley. Millwall have improved that area of the game recently. During that 8-match unbeaten run, 5 of their goals came from set pieces. Afobe's second in the 2-0 win over Huddersfield Town was from a Scott Malone delivery when the ball broke to him on the edge of the box and the striker lashed home. 4 of those goals were in games Millwall won by 1 goal, highlighting how important set pieces are to a side that rank in the bottom half of the table with goals from open play. Barrett leads the Lions' work on set plays. There's no secret with Millwall. We base some of our games, some of our chances on set pieces. We've got great players who come up from the back, great set piece takers, Afobe said. There's a crazy stat that most goals are scored from set pieces. As great as Man City and Liverpool are, they score a lot of goals from set pieces. For us to keep scoring, well, of course they do, because that's why they keep diving as well. That's why it's endemic, trying to get free kicks and penalties. For us to keep scoring goals from set pieces, we're going to take that and we're going to keep working on it at the training ground. Thankfully for us, it's coming up on match days now, because at the beginning of the season, Adam Barretts was getting on to us for not being very good at set pieces. Better late than never. Indeed, indeed, indeed. And you saw the Stoke game, they did us on set pieces. They scored from 2 set piece goals, and well, they scored one, we scored another one. George Saville there in goal, but yeah, they did what we should be doing and scoring from set piece goals. So there you have it. Moving on now to this. This is the match centre from WhoScored.com from the Luxembourg Northern Ireland friendly played tonight. Northern Ireland won it 3-1, and George Saville played 90 minutes. Danny Ballard was on the bench and was an unused substitute. There he is there. And yeah, there doesn't seem to be any score ratings or performances, but I think I was listening to the game on the radio from BBC Ulster, and George Saville seemed to be playing quite well. Northern Ireland weren't though, so overall they scored early on, but then they basically got outplayed by Luxembourg. Started the second half because they started the game with their second choice goalkeeper. They brought on their third choice goalkeeper. Northern Ireland did at half time, and then they conceded a goal 10 minutes after half time and make it 1-1. But then they make a load of changes, as you can see in the 63rd minute, and 2 of the subs scored the goals, one after the other, 83 minutes, 85th minutes, and basically killed the game off with their fresh legs and their skill, and that was that done. So they have another game. I think it's against Hungary, and we'll see who plays in that. Whether Danny Ballard gets any time, or whether George Saville plays again. Hopefully he's okay, he comes for this. Maybe he'll be rested for the next one, don't know. He did play 90 minutes for this one, so we'll see how they do it, because I think the other one is a friendly as well, so we'll see how he goes. Don't tire him out. Hopefully they both come back injury free. We're going to finish today with this. So tickets for Preston North End versus Millwall away trip on Good Friday. The Lions travel to Deepdale this Good Friday, 15th of April. Kick off 3 PM, with tickets going on sale to season ticket holders on Monday the 28th. So this Monday, 9:30 AM, they are going on sale to season ticket holders. Tickets are priced at £24. So there doesn't seem to be any loyalty points restrictions. It's just season ticket holders. Does it say how many tickets? Oh yeah, we have an initial allocation of 1,500 tickets, and you would imagine that would probably go to season ticket holders. I probably won't get to members. You think that they probably know that because they haven't. Oh no, it says here they will go to sell members on Wednesday the 30th of March. So it's 2 days. 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be on sale to season ticket holders, and then from Wednesday, if there are any left, they'll go on sale to members. And again, doesn't seem to be any restrictions on the number of loyalty points, so it's just first come, first served. So if you were interested in going to that on Good Friday, I assume the trains are fucked, because the trains are just fucked these days, aren't they? Constantly fucked. Even the brand new ones they're building, the Elizabeth line, that's completely fucked as well. It hasn't even opened yet, and it's completely fucked. But yeah, Isn't it great? So I don't know how you're going to get up there. Maybe you have to drive, get the coach, something like that, which is going to be difficult on Good Friday as well, isn't it? And not only that, but cost of petrol. Bloody hell. Maybe try and tag along with someone else and chuck them some petrol money. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. But there you go. 1,500 tickets. It does say initial. So maybe if they sell out quickly enough, they'll give us another 500 or so. They'll maybe. So if it does sell out, don't panic. Keep checking back because they might give us more. But then it's £24. That's not that bad, is it? It's pretty decent. Good on Preston for that. And on that note, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.